What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dave B. You watching DaveBeyondTV, where we go beyond that everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. And you know what I'm saying, we back. I just wanted to touch base with y'all. You know, I know the schedule been a little different. You know what I'm saying, it's been busy, man, and I'm sure it's been busy for y'all too. But you know, for the most part, let's talk about some of these energies. So, you know, we got the moon in Libra right now. So, you know, when it comes to communication, matter of fact, I think the moon is sliding into Scorpio. So depth, going deeper into our emotional state regarding, you know, maybe even when it comes to our belief system, you know what I'm saying? Coming off the full moon, you know, the full moon was in Virgo. So, you know, things got shook up a little bit. It was an eclipse. So, you know, chances are you looking at a whole new reality in front of you right now. What made sense to do yesterday might not be the same thing that makes sense today. And what adds to it is the aspect of, you know, the retrogrades and things like that. You know, we got Mercury and Venus both in retrograde, both in Aries, shaking shit up. And of course we got, what else was it? Yeah, just the eclipse and shit. And yeah, so there's some other significant alignments. I got to see how the asteroids are aspecting. I'm going to do a separate video for that. But when it comes to the moon transitioning from Libra to Scorpio, you know, the biggest thing is, especially with Scorpio, well, starting with Libra, right? Coming off the full moon in Virgo, the whole question was, are you satisfied with, you know, the practical use? Like, basically, it's almost like, is your spirituality useful, or is your spirituality actually hindering you? And when I say spirituality, I mean your individual sense of, spirituality is one of them trick words that, you know, can get mixed up in translation. But really, when I say that, I mean, let's look at the Pisces type energies, which is faith, belief, and imagination, right? Just to keep it simple, right? So when we talking about faith, belief, and imagination, the question of the full moon was more so presented to you as in, is your spiritual system or your belief in something, is it leading you towards something that's realistic, or is it keeping you distracted? Are you allowing the worries and the stress of other things that take away from your well-being? Are you allowing these things to kind of overtake your life? How do you deal with stressful situations and things like that? Like, even that in and of itself is like, how do you actually deal with stress? How much does it weigh on you? You know, say your nervous system. How do you self-regulate? All these different things are, well, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, probably presented themselves during the full moon time, during the eclipse time. And a lot of it ties into, you know, for lack of better words, your quote unquote destiny. I don't like using that kind of word because it sounds like more fantasy land, but it's really like your spiritual path in a sense, what you perceive to be your purpose down here and things like that, and what you're actually striving towards. Because when we talk about Pisces energy, dreams and things like that, excuse me, that really just represents a certain desire on a different kind of, it's like another form of a desire. But depending on, you know, what you dream about or what your dream is, it lets you know kind of what type of desire it is. You know what I'm saying? It's different than a Scorpio-like desire that has to do more so with, it might have to do with other things regarding stuff we keep behind, you know, things that you could consider sacred. A desire coming from the Pisces energy is more so like, you know, it's in the vein of Venus. So it's something that's more so, you know, it could be pleasurable. It could be, in a sense, like kind of like God complexy. It could be a lot of different things. But for the most part, it's like, still, the full moon was presenting you with that question, like whether or not that even made sense. Are you comfortable? Are you satisfied with the sense you're able to make of your spiritual system and whatnot? You know, and again, different experiences that you might have been going through, they're going to show you kind of similar things. And one of those very strong themes especially if right now, is that nobody coming to save you. And with everything up in the air, how do you create stability within that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. On some way, shape, form, or fashion, especially with the state of the world right now, everybody is in a state where their stability is all over the place. Nothing really makes sense. However, with the energies presented, it's really a matter of knowing how to, it's like you have to figure out how to create that with the current circumstances presented to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the things right now is like, how well can you take what you have access to in the present and transmute that into something that can be feasible, or that can make a goal feasible. And the thing is, we got the answers right in front of us. You know, Sun is conjunct to Saturn. It's just the fact that it's in Pisces, it requires a certain level of sacrifice that you might not be comfortable with, or it might not make sense to you. But regardless, you know, it's what we all kind of going through at the moment. And, you know, we got a lot of energies preparing to move into a different phase. We got Neptune 29 degrees right now in Pisces. So it's about to go in Aries by the end of this month. You know what I'm saying? And that coupled with some of these, you know, of course we got the eclipse, but that coupled with the retrogrades, a lot of what we're going through right now, this is, think of spring cleaning. We was already in that vibe, but this is spring cleaning times 10. This is where it ain't even a choice. This is almost like the type of spring cleaning that comes from, oh shit, no, the house damn near burned down. And instead of just spring cleaning in a normal, you know, house, this is spring cleaning, but because everything else is burning down. And so that's kind of the state of the world right now. You know, I say the state of the world, that's the vibe of the collective in a sense. Is like the house has burned down, so there actually isn't anything that you can really take from the previous past. You know what I'm saying? And when I say the house, like you can substitute that for mentality or mind state. You know what I'm saying? Or anything outdated mental. We have a whole new, you know, it's like that shit, hopefully it burned to the ground, and you got to look at that as a blessing in a sense, or a gift. You got to look at that as like, damn, I'm glad that house burned down, because had I stayed in that motherfucker not paying attention, other things could have occurred in that catastrophe that would have made it damn near impossible for me to move forward. You know, right now we have to look at the forward motion of something as we have to look at it with a certain level of grace and a certain level of gratitude. Like, damn, okay, I'm grateful I have the opportunity to even move forward with something like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful I even have the opportunity to, you know, gather what I can from the present moment and make something happen that could be in my favor. And see, the thing is, you got to take power over that. It's got to be you. It can't be anybody else. You can't be waiting for a blueprint. You can't be waiting for a sign. You can't be looking over your shoulder to see what your homie, your homeboy, your homegirl doing. You got to actually muster up the strength to bet on yourself on some degree. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everyone who's been bumping my new song, Self-Belief. You know what I'm saying? The lyric video is out now. I just dropped that shit last night. But a lot of that song, like, even though that was written a while ago, it applies to a lot of energy going on right now. You have to, you know what I'm saying, everybody want an answer, but there is no answer, especially not now. And I mean, and honestly, it's not that there is no answer, it's just the answer is you. And the answer is very specific to you. Therefore, there's nobody, you can't copy off of nobody right now. And that wouldn't even do you justice. That wouldn't even do you no good, because everybody's answers is tailored to their own experience. And now more than ever, we seeing that. We seeing the result of that and what that looks like. So you got to take that with a grain, you know what I'm saying, take that for what it is and keep it pushing. And the thing is, where we at right now, there might be a lot of people. See, the thing about it is there's so many people around who not going to understand. But you got to give grace in the sense of it's not for them to understand. See, going into this Aries energy, like Neptune in Aries and then eventually Saturn in Aries, one of the first things we're going to deal with is extreme adversity and hyper independence and hyper aggression, even to a degree of people wanting to only see things from their own perspective. Now, the people who actually are going to get the most out of this energy are the people who know how to be diplomats when it counts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always beneficial to be agreeable or harmonious, but to be diplomatic is knowing how to navigate conflict in an effective way in which you can maintain your own autonomy, but you can also respect other people's independence. And see, being diplomatic, it leads to better decisions being made, because what people don't realize is sometimes, like, when things fall apart, usually you can trace it back to a person wanting to be right so bad. People associate being right with their ego, and they get sucked into that illusion that if I'm right, I'm comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people associate comfortability with being right, when life ain't even about being right. It's about being clear, being intentional, learning, expanding, growing. You know, it's about these things. So when you get somebody who come in and talking like they know everything, I always laugh at these people, because it's like it's almost like an infant, you know, like a toddler coming to you. When a toddler want to tell you something that you as an adult know just ain't right, but that toddler is adamant about how they feel, so they gonna pump their chest up and they gonna yell and scream, and they gonna say it from the top of their lungs, even though, like, they just don't. It's just because they don't understand. So don't be surprised if a lot of individuals come at you in that manner. You know, let people talk. Let people. And see, me, I'm a type of person. Shit, I don't even believe I'm always right. I'll be like, sure, show me. I want to listen. Like, I'll be the first to be like, yo, don't tell me how you think it is, because you might be right. You might be onto something. I have no attachment to being right. Therefore, my experience in life has always been pretty. I've always been led to the right information. I've always been graced with the right attitude and perspective that's kept me in a space of prosperity to a degree. Even not to say I don't go through hardship. I go through hardship all the time. Y'all don't know. But it's like I'm always in a space where I'm given that level of, it's almost like things just kind of move in my favor in that degree, right? But moving into this Neptune and Aries energy, it's going to get dicey like that. It's going to feel like people are going to feel so entitled to, it's almost like people are going to feel a sense of, and you know, a lot of it comes from fear, and that's really the root of it. I'll be saying, y'all, like, a lot of people's actions, even the people who are self-righteous, and it's so ironic, because even certain levels of self-righteousness, it's like I always see it as a person just being scared out their mind. Or, well, you scared of shit. Somebody who gotta express how right they are, and I knew this all along, and I'll be like, oh no, just because you scared, and you trying to like reinforce this idea of comfortability through feeling like you right about your preconceived notions. But you don't realize that there's so many different ways that life can be perceived. You know what I'm saying? Even if your experiences have led you to come to a conclusion that works for you, yeah, okay, that works for you, but the world is vast. Life is infinite. It's like we are all a piece of all possibilities, and all possibilities exist. So if you believe in God, you also got to be okay with being wrong. Understand that there's other ways to perceive things. And as a collective in the world, when we talk about things, and I know it might get exhausting talking about things like community and stuff like that, but it's like there's no other way to I don't want to get too deep into that, because it's just like, if we really want this world to grow and develop into something better, if you want to change the world for the better, if you care about that, I get it if you don't care about the world, but regardless, it's like you to some degree, you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to figure out or realize that, you know, the answer really does come down to knowing how to share space with other individuals, and knowing how to, move and operate amongst others. You can't really do it all yourself, and nobody is entirely right. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. That's not what the point of life is. You know, we in this world experiencing other individuals so that we can relate and grow. You know what I'm saying? That's something, that's what it's about. It's about relating so that you can grow, and then through that growth, leads to being able to build with one another. But anyway, I ain't gonna get too much into that. But for the most part, let me get back to these energies real quick. So, we dealing with the moon in Libra. So being a diplomat when it comes to your dreams and imaginations, figuring out how to communicate and relate these things. And this is the energies we coming out of. Actually, this is not even the current. I think the moon is fully in Scorpio, or about to be fully in Scorpio. So the emotional state of the world is more so shifting to kind of being a little more sacred about our dreams. We might need to keep certain things to ourselves. How we feel, we might need to keep that to ourselves, or we need to use our feelings as a catalyst for transformation. So, on an internal tip, which I like to look at first, consider taking what you feel and applying it to the different transformations you need to make in order to make your dream more tangible. So coming off the full moon should already have given you insight on what's working and what's not working as far as reality. And the conversations that you should have been having during the moon in Libra should have gave you even more of a direction, because that was a misunderstanding with the sun, right? And the sun being the third deacon in Pisces, it's got that Mars influence. So it's all about intention. So we trying to get more concise, more specific, more clear when it comes to our intention when we're directing or moving towards our dream, imagination, and creativity, right? So that we can prevent or figure out how to properly utilize delusion, because delusion can be used in a positive way, cognitive dissonance and things like that. Especially if you let's say you got a goal that everybody around you can't quite see, a vision or a goal or dream that you believe in that not everybody understands. Again, that's how it's supposed to be. That's your subconscious space. So therefore, it's gonna be shit that nobody understands but you, right? And so how you operate with that delusion is, how can you kind of create a bridge to where that delusion can still be beneficial for you and not just a hindrance to you. And what I mean by that is, like, a delusion that's taken away from you or destroying you is, I like to use the example of an individual who says that they believe in themselves, right? Or has a goal and dream, they want to be a musician or something, but they don't put in the physical effort to write a song, to put themselves in front of a stage or on a stage, or do the things that make that dream tangible. Therefore, they're living in a delusion. They say they're going to be something, but they're not actively doing anything grounded to make that make sense. Versus a person who, you say you want to be a musician. You know how difficult it is to be a musician or something like that, but this person is still putting in the effort to get them on stage, to make songs, to put their songs on different platforms and sell their music and do all the things that make it seem like, oh, this person, if they keep doing that, they could realistically be a musician one day. And that's the difference. A delusion is supposed to give you all emotions are information, right? Thoughts and feelings and things like that. They might feel like, oh, well, what's the point of that? But thoughts and feelings is literally the lifeblood. It's how things pump. It's how things flow. So the better thoughts and feelings you have about something, the more you're gonna bring those experiences to you, and then the better you move. Also, maintaining a certain level of mental health and stability. Sometimes, people can't achieve certain things because they don't have the proper mental stability in regards to a goal that they have, right? So there's a certain level of mental stability that you have to develop by going through the trials and tribulations, the disappointments, and the excitements of that journey. That's why people tell you, like, the key is not the goal, the end goal. The end goal is just giving you a direction, right? But the experiences and the journey itself, the process itself, the growth that you go through the ups and downs of reaching that point A to point B. Really, we should be saying point A to point C, and the from point A throughout point B and then on to C. It's where a lot of that's really what it's all about, because those experiences along the way are what are giving you the signals and things like that, and you take that and you convert that into something that's tangible. That's why they say, like, you can be born into money or into success, right? You can't really be born into success, but you can be born into money or something. your story won't hit the same. And like, let's say you were born into a certain position, you're not gonna have interesting things to talk about, nor are you gonna have a lot of the things that make somebody want to invest further into your journey, into your story, without something to show for it, without an actual experience to say, oh no, I went through this thing and this is what I learned from it. You not even gonna have enough experience to put together a tangible product or a creation that's gonna be like deemed worth investing in. Like, you know, it's almost like you got to go through those things in order to have something worth investing in, and things like that. That's something that nobody teaches you. You know, everybody just wants that shit to happen overnight, but it's that journey that gives you something to talk about that, you know, is really more worth. It's worth a lot more than you even think. You know what I'm saying? That's why some of the people who went through the most fucked up things have some of the most successful careers, because what they went through in the process and their ability to kind of make something out of that, to transmute that, was the reason why, you know, they're successful now. It's like it had to come from that. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why they got a product that others deem worth investing in. That's why they got art that people want to buy into and people that and that's why they have people that believe in what they do, you know, because they clearly went through something and something of that. So even to a degree, you want to look at your current life like that right now. You know, you want to look at your situation like, damn, okay, you know, even if I'm going through a hard time, this shit can be transmuted into a story. This is me showing, oh, this is like, you know what I'm saying? It's so much going on. It's like, and this is more so for the people who got a lot going on and might not know the answer and might not know kind of how to navigate this shit. It's like what you're going through right now is necessary for that mental fortitude to be established. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know, life isn't designed to be easy, and a lot of times people just want to avoid the hard stuff when, nah, bro, it's the hard stuff is not gonna stop. There's no amount of spirituality and astrology you can learn that's going to prevent you from going through life's natural ups and downs, whether it's a situation that you manifested or something that's seemingly out of your control and out of your hands. You know what I'm saying? You have to take it all and acknowledge it as, you know, part of life itself, but it's the journey. But all these things can be transmuted. All these things are here at your disposal to make the most out of. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, understand that right now with the moon and Scorpio, allowing you to go to the depths of things, allow that to be, you know, don't take that lightly. You know what I'm saying? And again, the Scorpio ain't no light energy. So it's like, you know, it might be a very emotional day, but allow that to take you to the depths of what you need to go towards to create some kind of transformation. Again, you want to transform yourself to position you to better be suited for the type of dream you're trying to manifest for yourself. You want to allow the Scorpio energy, again, transformation, to transform maybe how you feel or your perspective on certain things that you got faith on, or especially if you a person who ain't got enough faith, if you're a person who's kind of looking at your, you know, you kind of doubting yourself or something like that. This is the time that you want to go deep and figure out the actual motivator as to why you think the way you do, and start to transform that. And I said think, but it's more like you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Why do you have such strong biases or emotional conviction towards a certain outcome without actually, you know? And then the thing is, if you got that conviction, you should be using that for something that you want to see manifested for yourself, not be rooted to be so, fixated on an emotional state that you know is actually destructive for you. You know what I'm saying? So we can actually use this energy to our benefit if we direct it in the right area. You know what I'm saying? You want to use this transmutation energy, this deep, almost obsessive energy, to start to look at all the aspects of your dreams that you can make possible, that you can make come true. Start to think about all the things that you can pour into yourself that's going to actually propel you into greatness, not the things that's going to keep you in mediocrity. And the mediocrity is all the self-doubt, all the questioning, all the I don't know if I'm capable, I don't know if this is gonna serve me, I don't know if this is good, I don't know if this is good, you know, all that other bullshit that you know, again, like I said, it's not gonna do you no good. It's not gonna help you in the long run, in the long term. It's only gonna stifle you. It's only gonna make you keep you confused and shrouded in darkness and things like that. So, you know, turn your dreams and imaginations, turn that shit into something tangible. Turn that shit into turn that shit into something that's going to propel you into greatness. That's my main takeaway. Now the moon is also going to be in conjunct it's going to be in conjunct, let me see, moon going to be in conjunct Mercury retrograde, right? And it's also going to be in conjunct Venus retrograde. So misunderstanding how to feel about past thoughts on individuality and past thoughts on relationships. We got to get out of these grudges so that we can make change in our life. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. We got to get out of these grudges. We got to look at ourselves and say, okay, I need to stop feeling these kind of ways, because me being so rooted into this grudge, all it's doing is conjuring up more and more inner conflict. And when you have inner conflict, it's very hard for you to progress in life. That's why I was talking kind of about mental fortitude. A lot of what's necessary for growth or to get from point A to point B is to sort things out internally. You have to kind of get your mind right to the degree of understanding that, okay, you know, you have to like put in the work to get your mind and your thoughts and your feelings basically on the same page with your actions. So, you know, a lot of times people be going for something as a goal, but they don't really feel like they can do it. Or they feel like they can do it, but they don't think they can do it. Or they think they can do it and they feel like they can do it, but they don't physically get up, put in the effort to do it. So you gotta, it's gotta be a holy trinity. You gotta take all three, your thoughts, feelings, and your actions, to actually make progress. And once you make progress, you have to do your best to keep the momentum. And that becomes the challenge, you know what I'm saying? And we all go through different things that stifle our momentum, but that's the name of the game. And the better you can keep your momentum, that's that consistency. And consistency doesn't mean going the same intensity every day. It just means showing up every day and doing what you can, and you know, making an effort to do better. And you know, so yeah, misunderstanding how to feel about these things, right? The moon in conjunct both Mercury and Venus. It's a matter of just, you gotta look a little deeper as to what are the like, based upon past experiences, dealing with individuality, maybe even relationships to a degree, right? And value, self-love, and things like that. On what degree did your grudges lead you down the wrong path, or get you caught up in kind of being too rooted in a certain perspective, when it was time to kind of, you know, now you should be seeing all the reasons why you either glad you switched up, or if you hadn't been switching up, this will show you all the reasons why switching up is kind of damn near the only option. You know, you can still bullshit yourself and lie to yourself like, oh, it's all good, but you know deep down in your heart, like, damn, that's not gonna fly, because that conflicts with my self-value, that degrades my self-value, that takes away from who I am, or my ability to be who I am, and X, Y, and Z. So, you know, even the way we think right now, we got to understand, again, intentional. If this is my desire, if I'm directing my energy in this direction, how beneficial is that actually, or how does that align with my intentions and what I actually want to create for myself? You know, we have to ask ourselves some of these deeper questions. The moon also is in conjunct Chiron, so misunderstanding how to transform or deal with grudges that were created based upon past mistakes. So just because something was a mistake in the past and hurt you, you gotta move. It's time to move forward and grow from that. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that grudge keep you in a loop, a karmic cycle of making the same mistake over and over and over and over. You got to make something different, you know? But at the end of the day, and I'm low on battery, I don't know what percent I'm on, but the last thing I'll say too, or maybe the last thing, is the moon is trining the sun, Saturn, the North Node, and Neptune to a degree, right? So, but Neptune in and of itself is going through the is more on Aries side, so it's kind of leaning into the misunderstanding a little bit. And see, that lets you know, okay, so with your current emotional state, right, as deep as it is, pay attention to the emotional grudges that keep you from transforming your dream the way you know your dream needs to be transformed. One, the other thing is the gift. So there's a gift based upon our actions to start to act more so on these dreams if you allow Scorpio and Pisces, them energies get along really well, because Scorpio becomes a motivator for Pisces. They actually become motivators for each other, but Pisces helps Scorpio ease out of being so gung-ho and aggressive, and understands like a little bit more of how to like take a goal and relax on it, but still be determined to do it. Like Scorpio gives the Pisces a little bit more intention and being specific on what it wants to achieve, and Pisces helps the Scorpio believe that it's capable. So this in tandem, like the sun and the moon trining, this is a gift to actually do this with your own goals that you have internally for yourself. It's like, oh damn, I could actually put these things together, and I can be both intentional but also have full faith in my ability to achieve something. You know what I'm saying? So that's the benefit. It's also trying to, what was the other energy in Pisces? Saturn. So same thing. Saturn has a lot to teach the moon in this case, right? Saturn has a bit to teach. So Saturn in Pisces is teaching the moon in Scorpio, where, okay, you got grudges here, here, and here. Instead of being so fixated on that feeling, let's see how that feeling can actually, we can transform that to be something that's more motivating for us to create stability and us to get in alignment with reality. Let's see if we can make a better reality based upon our determination, instead of oh, woe is me, or only looking at the negative things and what we got to destroy. There's a lot of things that we can actually give birth to if we put our mind or our heart in the right place. And then another aspect is the moon and Mars. So this is one of those things where it's like, okay, the moon, even though the moon and Mars, like sometimes we can be emotional about and aggressive, emotionally aggressive, and kind of in our feelings, right? But again, if you are using these energies positively, this is you taking your passions and actually nurturing them, right? If you've been nurturing your passions in the right way, this is the moon in Scorpio giving you a little bit more even confidence and conviction on, okay, let's strategize with these passions. Let's not just be in our feelings and let these feelings overtake us. Let's be strategic about how we feel, and let's direct these things towards something that's actually going to create growth and lead to stability. And the moon opposite Uranus, this is feeling uncomfortable with individuality, but it's really that needs to be where we derive balance from. Our motivation to create stability in a unique way from the sextile Uranus is making with Mars. That should be we can have that be supported by the opposition if we allow the proper transformations to be made in order for that stability to manifest. You know what I'm saying? We have to be willing to kind of go through that sacrifice and commit to the transformations so that we can create balance. Even if it feels uncomfortable as an individual to create stability like this, understand no one coming to save me anyway, so I might as well do it my way, and fuck if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? How I'm gonna be wrong if I'm doing it my way? How I'm, and again, wrong, what is wrong? Wrong doesn't, just because something doesn't work doesn't mean I'm necessarily wrong. And again, like I said, separating or detaching your happiness from being right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like life is not about that. It's an experience. It's an experiment. You know what I'm saying? Life is a spiritual experiment. You are in a human body having a human experience, experimenting with shit, trying to see if shit can work. So it don't need to be, oh, I gotta be right, or you're wrong, you gotta be wrong, or that. It's all about experimenting and figuring out what works for you and becoming a better manifester of reality. You know what I'm saying? You a piece of all possibilities. You gotta flex that. You gotta exercise that shit to see what's gonna shake, to see what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's my message for today, is just like, don't lose the faith. Use this energy to transmute and transform yourself to become better. and take everything in stride. You know, it's hard shit going on right now. It's a lot of things uncertain, a lot of things up in the air, a lot of things going back and forth, and just all kinds of energies that can get you all twisted and turned out. But you got to remember, all of this is part of spring cleaning, and a lot more clarity is going to develop, especially when we get to the solar eclipse and into Aries season. A lot of this shit will start to create clarity, but you just got to stay strong and not be too hard-headed. So stay strong, but don't be hard-headed. Allow yourself to be teachable. Allow yourself to be fluid, and you'll see the answers manifest in front of you if you put your mind in the right place. All right? Much love, and I'll catch you on the next one. Also, Swam coming soon, you know what I'm saying? So tap in, keep running up that music video. I got a lot more shit to drop for y'all, and the calendar sample is on the way. I'm gonna start to open pre-orders pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, much love, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.